Hello everyone and welcome back to Hey Bucko Outdoors. Today we're going to be going over what makes a good small game rifle. In other words, what makes a good varmint rifle. I've got a couple of examples we're going to go over here today, go over a few points such as versatility, reliability, and durability. Stay tuned. Before we launch into the video, I do invite you guys to subscribe to the channel. This is all self-funded here. I don't take any sponsors or do any of that nonsense. Everything you see is funded directly by me through blood, sweat, and tears, essentially. So best way to support the channel is to like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you feel like doing so, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, check out the Pew video playlist in the channel feed down below. Thank you. So like I said, we're going to talk about versatility, reliability, and durability. So the first one up, versatility. What do I mean by that? I mean a rifle's ability to do a great many things. So in front of us here, bolt is open. I'm going to remove the magazine, show you guys that there's nothing in there, so you can see. So versatility, a rifle's ability to do a whole bunch of things. So on some weekends, I might just want to take this out to the range and shoot sub-minute groups because that's what it's capable of. Other weekends, I might be handling a predator problem up at my deer lease. Obviously getting foxes, coyotes off the landscape, that way we can promote a healthier deer habitat. So being able to do a great many things with a given rifle is important, so that's something to keep in mind. It brings me to a different point, but in the same vein of the video. This particular rifle, this is a Savage 93 GL. I'm left-handed, so it is a left-handed model. That's why if it looks wonky, screen isn't flipped, it's just the way it is. So why do I pick 22 mag? You get that versatility, right? Not only can I go after squirrels, rabbits, raccoons, the same stuff you could with a 22 long rifle, but you get a little bit more added benefit, I would say, in some areas and cons and some others. So some of the benefits, I can shoot a longer range with this, or so I feel like at least, accurate out to longer range. I can take this guy out to 125, 150 yards is what I've stretched this out to, and still be right around the 1 MOA group standpoint. Now, some of the ammo I do use for that, CCI with Hornady projectiles. This is just their 30 grain Varmint polymer tip and their 40 grain Maxi Mag. That is probably my favorite. I've got a 21-inch heavier profile barrel on this guy, which makes it more handy for handling the heavier projectiles. It's actually recommended you use 45 or 50 grain projectiles with this, but unfortunately I have not been able to find any available 50 grain projectiles for the 22 mag. So the second point we're going to go over is durability, right? Can your rifle hold up to the elements? Or are you okay with it getting dinged up? I mean, obviously as hunters, we're going to be in a lot of brush through the woods. You might get some scratches here and there, some bluing wear as time goes on. It's just to be expected with normal use, right? So obviously nowadays a lot of folks are moving towards the more synthetic rifle stocks, carbon fiber barrels. At least a lot of folks are. This is a more traditional. You've got a walnut stock and just a standard blue barrel. So I'm okay with this getting dinged up. I know that I'm going to bring this thing on a great many hunts, small game, coyote hunting, whatever, and I've already got a bunch of dings in the stock. I've got some scratches on the bluing that I'm just taking care of by oiling them, making sure the rust doesn't get too bad, but that's something you're going to have to keep in mind when you do pick a small game or varmint hunting rifle, unless you're just going to keep that thing on the shelf or in the gun safe, bring it out once a year to the range. Most of us are not going to do that. We're going to bring our rifles out, hunt around with them, even if we don't shoot them a whole bunch, because typically the more I shoot is when I'm at a given range. So I'll be sitting, putting 25, 50 rounds down range, either checking my zero or just, having a good day at the range. So hunting, you're not really shooting it as much, at least unless you're on a hot spot, I don't know. But dinging the rifle up is a real consideration. So just make sure, one, your rifle can stand up to it. Obviously, if it's like pouring rain for days straight, I'm probably going to opt for my Winchester Wildcat with a synthetic stock over the wood stock, simply because I don't want this thing to get too badly waterlogged. Next thing we're going to go over, guys, is reliability. Now, something that's very important to keep in mind with any rimfire firearm is I won't venture to call them inherently unreliable, but they are. It doesn't matter if you spend $50 or $5,000 on a 22 or 17, any type of rimfire, just the nature of the ignition system on these guys. You've got a little firing pin that hits along the rim. They are known to be unreliable. You're going to have misfires here. You're going to have bad cartridges. I've spent $50 on a box of ammunition and had misfires in terms of 22 WMR, and I've spent $4 or $5 on a box of 22 LR ammunition, had no issues. It's really just the luck of the draw. Nobody knows a way around it. Any manufacturer that I've tried has always had bad rounds, and they've always had good rounds. I would say it's getting better a little bit, but still I would say between 5 and 15% of the time when you're either at the range or out in the field, you're going to have bad ammo. Rimfires just tend to not be as reliable as centerfire rifles. So that's an important consideration to keep in mind. Going over what we just did, versatility, durability, and reliability. Those three things I think are probably some of the most important considerations when you choose a rifle. Another sidebar to that, something that I like, bolt actions tend to be a little bit more accurate over semi-autos. I've owned Ruger 1022s, I've owned Winchester Wildcats, Marlin Model 60s. Out of all of those guns, I would say this Savage 93, this is not a sponsored video by Savage, this is simply me just giving you my personal experience. Again, sample size of 1, so take that into consideration. However, I have the ability to shoot half-minute groups almost with this thing at 50, 100 yards. When I get out to 100 yards, it's probably closer to an inch, so 1 MOA. That being said, it's an inherently very accurate rifle. Now, I will say, one of the things I do not like about this rifle, so it comes standard with these 5-shot magazines. You can opt to upgrade for these 10-shot magazines. However, anytime I've loaded them with polymer tip bullets past 6 or 7 rounds, I've had issues feeding, the magazine gets locked up. I don't know if maybe I just need to load the magazine full with 10 rounds, just let it sit for a couple weeks, maybe break it in, something to do. So if anybody knows the remedy to that on the Savage 93 and the Magnum rimfire category, let me know. But that is one of the major cons with this rifle that I'm not a fan of, but I put up with anyways. I'm okay with using the 5 rounds anyways. I can carry one of these. It's less than a pound. I've got 50 shots in here. I don't mind having to reload. I'm not going out there like it's the OK Corral, so it's not really that big of an issue for me. Some people like to have the ammo capacity that you can get with a Ruger 1022, the 25 rounders, the 15 rounders, the basic 10 rounders. With this, it is going to be heavier for less ammo, so that is something to keep in mind too. Now, a setup like this, if you see this and be like, wow, it's an amazing setup, where'd you get such a thing? So I'm going to go over it a little bit. Again, just a base Savage 93 GL, so that is their left-handed model. This one is the walnut stock version. It does have a little bit of a raised cheek piece here. I don't know if that just comes like that from the factory or if somebody special ordered this. Anyways, makes it easier to use a scope, right? It does come from the factory with iron sights, just a basic elevator style and a front post right here. 21-inch barrel. It is a little bit heavier profile, not as much as their bull barrels, but it's not a pencil barrel by any stretch of the imagination. I opted to put a optic on this simply because I wanted the added accuracy. I'm going to close that bolt real quick. It's bothering me. I have a Leupold VX Freedom 2-7x33 on here. This thing is perfect for what I need. If I'm shooting 5 feet away or 50 yards away, I feel more than comfortable taking ethical shots on game animals with this. Now, it does have the Savage Accu trigger. Great. This thing's right around 2.5, 3 pounds, just where I want it. It's held up well. I've had this thing for probably going on almost 3 years now. It's a great rifle. I've never had any issues. Yes, it is unreliable at times with certain ammunition. I've stuck with CCI most of the time. Again, you're going to have misfires here and there, but for the most part, nothing too terrible. Now, in terms of slings, slings are important. I know some people hate them, some people love them. Me, every rifle I own that I'm going to take out to the field has to have a sling. And on this one, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. You guys are pretty far away. This is a Montana Sling Company leather sling. I like to invest in really good slings. Simply because I'm going to put in probably, in terms of just hours, close to 50 to 250 hours a year walking around the woods with a rimfire on my back, hunting squirrels, rabbits, crows, coyotes, foxes. I'm getting ready to go on a couple coyote hunts here in the next couple months to get ready for deer season, lower the predator population just a little bit. Now, safety on the left side of this guy. If you're a right-handed guy, just imagine this rifle but flipped. Right, so safety is going to be, I think the safety might stay on the left side. I can't remember. I have seen these in right-handed, but it's escaping my mind at the moment. I'm a fan of it though. What is it going to run you? Something like this. So when I picked this rifle up, this is 2022 when I got it, and it was like $260 is what I paid for the rifle itself. Probably closer to 300 now. I could be wrong, correct me in the comments. Rifles, let's just call it 300, just for nice and even. Scope mount was 50, scope was 300. So let's see, we've got 600, 650, and then a $50 to $60 sling. So I've got probably $700 in this rimfire setup. That's a lot of money in anybody's terms, but it took me probably 18 months to put this all together. I scrimped and saved, and I know what I wanted. So I put together my, you could call it my dream small game or varmint hunting setup. I love this thing and I'm never going to get rid of it. It's literally curated to me to the best possible, to the way I'm best able to manage it, right? Not everyone's able to afford a $700 firearm in today's, just the way things are today. Some great options too that are more budget friendly. You've got the Winchester Wildcat, not a 22 Magnum, but I would say it's very reliable. I've only had 2 misfires and I've probably put 300 rounds through mine. Very similar to the 1022 system, and it's a little bit more, I would say, user-friendly, especially with the more modern stock profile and other things on there. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling, guys. Thank you for watching. If I forgot to bring anything in here that you thought would have been interesting or useful to the end user, let me know. If you want further clarification on a point I made, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer it whenever I get to it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a fantastic day.